Welcome to Stockholm. My name is Jan Gradvall. I'm a music journalist, and I'm very honored to host this interview with two of the greatest songwriters of all time. So, very welcome, Björn and Benny.
Hey, hey.
Thank you, and welcome all you to this interview that is promising to be one of the most interesting ones we've ever heard.
I've been writing about music for like 35 years, and for me everything started when I was 10 years old and bought the first LP for my own money, which was Waterloo.
Mm-hmm.
And that was recorded right here.
Yes.
Yeah. Where are we right now? Can you explain that?
We're in the Metronome studio. It used to be called the Metronome studio, and we had one day a week in the studio to record. And this is where we recorded Waterloo.
Well, yeah, Power Music had 1 week,
yes.
1 day a week.
Yeah.
And we tried to steal as many of them as we could once we formed ABBA, but we did other stuff too here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we had to speed it up a bit.
Yeah.
So we recognize this desk, control desk behind us.
Yeah, same thing, old Neve desk.
And the grand piano in the background, the grand piano where you played Dancing Queen, Mamma Mia, right?
Everything.
Yeah.
It's a Berlin, Swedish. And I think the frame is something special with the frame. I don't know what it's made of, but it's special. It's still actually quite all right, although it must be at least 50 years old.
Can you sort of talk about a typical day in the studio back then? What were your studio hours? How did you organize a typical studio day?
10 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Not before 10. Nobody wants to work before 10 if you're a musician. So we started at 10. We promised Michael Tretov that he would always have a decent lunch. He didn't want to go out. There was a terrible hot dog stand just outside the door here. Uneatable. So he said, I'm not going to do that. We have to eat properly, which we did.
Yeah.
We had proper lunches every day, but we could work very late.
Yeah, 10.
Because we only had this day
in
the beginning.
And you know, when we produced a single, not for ABBA, but for other people, for instance, it might take, we had to do it in a day. We had to mix the single at the end of the day, and everything had to be done.
Yeah.
Because he was, had to be ready the next day.
Yeah.
But a typical ABBA day, we'd come in at 10 and we'd work at a much more leisurely pace, I think, than we did with the other guys.
Yeah. But we didn't have time enough, I'd say.
No.
I think if you listen carefully, you can hear that on the first albums, that we ran out of time. But, some things you have to live with.
Yeah. And when you arrived here, you had already written the melodies. You two worked in this archipelago outside Stockholm in a very small house, right?
Yeah, or in the basement of my house at Linge or at your house.
Yeah.
Or we also had a piano at the office at Jungfrugatan, little piano. So we worked wherever we could work. It was mainly during the summers we spent in the archipelago, in the little hut.
And we would have the melody, and Benny would have written down the chords. And sometimes would have some kind of dummy lyric, but never the one that he ended up with.
No.
Just a dummy, and then musicians would come in and play it to them over and over again, and gradually.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't read music or write music, but I know how to sort of spread the harmonies out. So here you go from here to there, and I know what a wheel is. I know what repetition signs and stuff. So I did that, and the occasional bass note under the harmony.
Yeah. But that's quite unusual, because you had the melodies that you set together in this small house, and then you sort of recorded like the basic tracks before there was a lyric, really.
Yeah.
And then you, Björn, went home with like a cassette tape and wrote the lyric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was because I tried a couple of times to have the lyrics ready, and the tune, the song would change shape completely, and the lyric was just not the right one. So
Not-
so I
not
stopped
even
doing
afterwards.
that. Not even afterwards sometimes, but so I stopped doing that. Yeah.
But do you think that sort of formed the lyrics in a way? Because I guess that's quite a private thing to do. You go home, maybe with this cassette, listen to it, and the lyrics just got better and better, deeper and deeper. And you wrote some really personal lyrics about divorce and love. Do you think that process maybe helped that? It was easier to sit at home in the dark and write those lyrics?
Then doing it together, yeah, definitely, or together with the ladies.
That was what I was meaning.
No, but the thing is that the music speaks. You know, somehow it does. It has something to say, and it's just a matter of listening hard enough to what is this about, and
And year by year, I had to say that the backing tracks got better and more intricate. We could add stuff with synthesizers and things that we didn't have from the beginning, so that would make it sort of sound almost ready, like.
Yes. So the atmosphere was there around the song from the start, and then but sometimes that didn't work. I mean, with Chiquitita, I rewrote that 2 or 3 times because it just didn't sound right when we got into the studio.
Chiquitita is a nice little tune when you make a virtue out of necessity. It's the same chorus as verse.
Ah, okay.
But you can't really tell.
No. But it's interesting with. I think writing music can be. You can look at it from 3 aspects. There's a melody, there's a lyric, but there's a sound of the lyric, and the sounds are very, very important. A lot of people just write lyrics and forget about the sound. But for me, it was always, very important to make that kind of an integrated part of it.
Yeah,
That
like
is-
they said in that documentary, it has to ring well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Also, there's another thing. I mean, you have a melody, you have the harmonies, and you have a rhythm, right? That's just the fundament of a song, because everything that comes onto a track is music. Every little thing. If you take a marimba in Mamma Mia, or there's so many things going on. I think that's one of the good qualities with our recordings, that there's so many things going on that you don't really catch first time you listen, or second, or even third. But you will notice after a while that there's stuff going on all the time. The more the merrier, So a recording is not just a melody and a rhythm and chorus. It's the whole package.
That's interesting, because this is a long time before you did musicals, but maybe the reason they work so well in like Mamma Mia, the musical, and the movies, that the melodies and lyrics are really thought through from the beginning. It's not just a lyric to a melody, it really express the same thing. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's a whole.
Yeah.
Because we work so tight together.
And it's nice when it fits together, isn't it?
Yeah, it should.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
That's the first thing I aim for, that it should fit,
Yeah.
But it should be a whole. You should feel it's an integrated whole at the end when you listen to the final mix.
When you listen to an ABBA song now, you immediately think this is the ABBA sound.
Yeah.
When did you realize that you had an ABBA sound?
Was it here when
Good
we
question.
did Gamle Man?
When we first heard the girls, when they came in and helped us singing some backing vocals to a Swedish silly song, we looked at us and said, boy, this is what it should be like. Why are we trying to sing?
Yeah.
When we have the ladies, they're here, they're singers. Why don't we let them sing? We write, they sing. But that's not, I'd say that Frida and Agneta is 90% of the ABBA sound. That's what I think. You take the voices out, let someone else sing. It's not the same thing.
But it might have been that song and in this very studio.
Here, yeah.
Yeah. that we realized, my God, they sound good together.
Yeah.
Something happened.
I mean, we've done really good recordings for the Mamma Mia movie. Both of them. Great singers, Meryl and you name them all. They're all really good singers, but it does not sound like ABBA. Although I really tried to emulate everything we did with the songs originally to keep it as they so they're recognizable, most of them. But it sounds great, but it does not sound ABBA. So
the
girls,
thing, yeah, and you know, when we did Voyage, and we did the first recording we did, I think the vocals we did was I Still Have Faith in You, and we didn't know after 40 years whether it would sound like ABBA or not.
no,
But it so did.
yeah.
So can you explain how exactly do you work when they come in and you start?
We just tell them what to
arranging
do and then they do it.
Really, really.
No, but
you
they've
have like a process, and how can
No,
you
I mean,
explain
they've
that?
had the songs, right? They had demos or the backing tracks if we had them, and the lyrics
Yeah.
sent to them. So they when they came in to do the vocals, they knew it, you know. And then we just say, okay, ladies, please. And the funny thing, after 40 years, is like we came back to like no time had passed. Everyone was sort of playing their roles.
Yeah.
So smooth. Quite extraordinary, actually.
Yes, very.
And they have this. They're both brilliant singers, but when they sing together, that's the totally unique ABBA thing.
Yeah. I think they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one Agneta soprano and Frida almost mezzo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Frida's striving to get up there. It's a little too high for her, but she does it, and then it sounds as a metal sound that is so typical.
Maybe we could talk about I Still Have Faith in You, one of the tracks from the new album, which is, I think, one of your best songs ever. Because
I must say, I agree. I think it's one of the best we've done.
Because the way Frida really has to struggle, and that's part of the magic of the song. It's not an easy song to sing.
No, it's very low and it's very high.
How did you write that? I know you, Benny, you took a little bit, you stole from yourself in a bit. A little
I just
piece,
borrowed.
Borrowed from yourself, which is a very small piece of melody you did for film music. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Ludwig was producing a movie called The Circle, a teenage thing, sort of fantasy-ish. And they asked me if I could write the music. I did. So that all done. There's a little piece of music in there that I was really fond of. I have to fight to get it in, but I did. It's only like maybe 20 seconds. And that's I Still Have Faith in You.
Is it all of it?
The beginning, no. Da-da-dee-da,
Yeah.
la-da-dee-do, da-da-dee-do-dee-do-dee. That's it. And I felt it would be sort of a waste to have a melody line like that sort of disappear into thin air in a movie that people will not see again, I guess. So, I completed it. I like it.
And it was...
and it's a bloody great lyric, too.
It's like an
I have
anthem.
to say, yeah.
To me, it was like an anthem, in a way. So it had to be about us, I guess, in a way. But it also, at the same time, about, lots of other things.
Speaking of anthems, you also have another really an anthem, Ode to Freedom, on the album, which is also brilliant. Especially when you look at what's happening in the world right now.
Yeah.
That song becomes even better and more important. Can you talk a little bit about that song?
Well,
no, I've had it for a while, the song itself, but nowhere to put it. There's never been a space to put it in. I mean, it's not a pop song, but on the other hand, we've always made albums with pop songs and maybe not a pop song in them as well. It's a sort of a brand.
Yeah.
So we could use that.
Yeah.
Actually, I had an email yesterday from someone who wants to. She's made a choir arrangement on that one. She wants to send it down to her pals, conductors in the Baltic states.
Okay.
I say, yeah, fine, you do that.
And I tried various things, but I always came back to that it's kind of majestic. It needs a lyric that is slightly larger than an ordinary pop lyric. And I've always thought there is no such thing as an ode to freedom, because freedom is so many things to so many people. So then there isn't one. There is an ode to joy, of course, but not to freedom. So the lyric is about...
There's an ode to Billy Joe.
Yes, that's an ode to Billy Joe. So it's about, you know, if I'd ever write one, it wouldn't be. So it's kind of reverse.
But I was thinking about Ode to Joy, Beethoven, when I heard it, which also the European Union use as their sort of theme song, or what you call it.
Yeah.
Were you aware of that when you wrote it, that you really were thinking about Beethoven's Ode to Joy?
And I knew that, of course, that existed, and that is also a very majestic melody. But as I said, there is no ode to freedom. And freedom is such a concept that people have different, you know, opinions of. And I think it's very interesting to explore what is freedom. And that's why I wish in the song that someone would write an ode to freedom.
What was it like going back in the studio as ABBA again for the first time in like 38, 39 years? I mean, the way you record albums has really changed. What was different this time around, do you think?
I think we were more prepared because the tools at your hand today, like my synclavier thing, I can do the whole backing track on my own and swap the made-up guitars and drums and so for real guys playing. But basically it sounds the same.
Yeah.
If I play you the first demo of I Still Have Faith in You, it's very similar to the final product, although they're real strings, they're real guitarists, bass players, drums.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Because demos in those days, you know, didn't sound like that. And
No, we're going Björn and I, piano, guitar. Okay,
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
this is the song.
And-
Da 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 da. Yeah.
And this demo, it's not even a demo. It's like a recording that
Yeah,
you do.
well, yeah.
And it's kind of ready, which is a huge difference.
What is
But it
the-
takes discipline then when you write melodies, because it sounds so good from the word go, so that you have to strive and don't get lazy. I think a lot of writers today get lazy because it sounds so good. Whereas in the old days with the piano and guitar, it didn't sound that good.
No, because you were writing in this shed in the archipelago, and if the melody really had to be good to sound good there with sort of an auto-tune piano, I think
Yeah.
you said, and a quite
Yeah.
simple acoustic guitar.
Two guys singing some kind of
Well,
gibberish.
melody always have to sound good on its own, really.
Yeah.
What is the secret of arranging and producing a song? Because I think one of the reasons the song still sounds so great and I still play the records are incredibly well crafted. Can you talk a little bit about that, about arranging and producing songs?
Well, just as I said earlier, I mean, it's a matter of putting all things together into one and try to fill in every empty spot with something, you know? So you don't have like two bars going when nothing is happening. I don't know why that is. I mean, that's a personal thing, isn't it? This is, yeah, we can do this here and we can do that there, and you try things. The problem we had actually with with arrangements and so forth, with the vocals, because we did so many backing vocals, on different spots, different styles in the same song, and we only had 16 tracks, so we had to bounce things together to get room for the next layer of vocals, and then one might come up with an idea that was absolutely bloody wonderful, but it didn't fit with what we already did for 2 days. So we have to remake that because we like this last part so good.
Yeah.
So it took time, but we had time then because we had our own studio, and we had very tough ladies who they didn't give up. They could stand the whole day and sing ooh if we asked them to.
And also, you know, that every part of a song should be the best you can do at that moment. Not to be lazy and think the chorus is so good that it doesn't matter about the verse, which I think a lot of people do today. So, because all the little bits and pieces, bridges, verses, choruses, intros, they might have come at different moments.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was a marimba down here when we recorded Mamma Mia. We never used a marimba, but it fitted, you know, da-ti-da-ti-da-ti. I don't know why. Had it been here, it wouldn't have become what it is.
Oh.
So there's small things. It's like it happens when it happens. And I think it has to do with talent, actually. That you understand that there's a hole here, and we need to fill it with something, and it has to be good.
And everything about ABBA has always been very organic. It just happens, and nobody really knows why.
Apart from me.
So nobody really can explain why we're sitting here right now. You know, why us? Why is the music still so much played?
You mentioned Mamma Mia, the song earlier. Is it true that when you did that, the original thought was to have the chorus much bigger sounding, and then at the last minute you took away all the music and just created this only vocal?
Yeah, that happened in the mix.
Yeah.
You have a song, you try to make it sound great. And it did. I mean, even with the chorus with full on. But when we tried to take everything away, just leave the voices and the piano, all of a sudden it became something else.
Yeah.
And we luckily realized that.
Yes, we tried. You know, it just happened, and the same thing I think with Money, 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 where the bass plays the melody.
Yeah.
That was also a moment like that. What? The bass playing the melody? But it does in the chorus.
I never realized that, actually. It's true, yeah. One other nerdy question about that. This When I Kissed the Teacher, this incredible sound with the sort of acoustic guitars. It sounds like you have 200 acoustic guitars playing at the same time. How did you create that? That was also in this studio, right?
No, that was at Polar, a little studio upstairs.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's you playing the acoustic guitars. The thing is, Michael did something. I don't know what he did, but he did something to give it this wonderfully twangy, crisp sound. And it's hard to emulate without Michael Tretto.
And Michael Tretto is your brilliant engineer who worked for all the years. Yeah.
He was so brilliant. And always, you know, sometimes he got tired of us, but when Benny for the umpteenth time would turn his box of matches upside down.
He smoked a pipe and he had a big box of matches. And he opened it, and I couldn't resist sort of turning it around. So.
He opened, and all matches fell out, and that happened quite a lot of times, you know. But it got funnier, you know. The more it happened.
No, we had a great time. I think we must have laughed. If we had 8 hours sessions, we laughed at least 1.5 hours of those.
Yes.
Incredible, actually.
Such an atmosphere, and the musicians, the same thing.
Yeah.
Everyone laughed the whole time.
Yeah.
Like it was, you know.
Yeah, like it was
playground.
Yeah.
Which it was in a way.
Yeah.
Very creative playground.
A sort of a trademark of the ABBA sound is this combination of like happy and sad. The songs are unique that they sound sort of melancholic and uplifting in the same way. Where does that come from? Maybe it's impossible to ask, but where does that combination come from?
Well, it's I don't know.
I think it's
What's
voices.
good is good. Is this a good song? No. This one? No. This one? Yes. Well, why is that? Why does one make the choices one make? I don't know that. All I know is that if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And when it happens, it has an ingredient of something, I don't know, personality? I don't know what to call it, but something that talks to you. So this is good. We have to keep this and work on it, right? I don't know this about. I know they're not as happy as you think they are. If you play them sort of gentle, you can hear that.
But there's a kind of a jubilant quality in the voices of the ladies. Even if they sing very sad songs, but together they sound somehow jubilant. If
I
you
was
can, at the same time.
Listening to Frida today when we were rehearsing with the band, and she's singing When All Is Said and Done, which is sort of a. It's not a sad song, but it's dealing with difficult stuff, and it's an incredible energy.
Yeah.
Which it wouldn't have been if we would have done it today. I think it would have been more mellow, more sort of soft, but it's bang on, and it's quite wonderful.
Do you think that melancholic quality in the melody has something to do with your roots, like you, Benny?
Yeah, because we're living in the vodka belt.
You
That's
live
why.
in the vodka belt.
Yeah.
And your grandfather told you to play accordion, and you, Björn, played folk music with Hootenanny Singers. And in old Swedish folk music, there's a lot of vodka, dark.
Oh, that's minor, very minor key, yes.
No, but the whole fiddle tradition.
Yeah.
You know, it's absolutely. It's yeah. But it's not. I don't know if that's melancholy.
No, it's what they call happy sad. It's this kind of sadness that is happy at the same time, or has a happy ingredients. So it's not melancholy, because that is dead down, and this is different. And I think you hear that in Swedish folk music, in fiddlers.
Oh yeah.
It's sad, but it's happy.
Exuberant, and it's just it's for all of us.
Yeah.
It's meant to be for all of us. Folk's music, you know.
Other artists from your generation who has made sort of comeback albums, almost all of them want to work with young producers, young songwriters, to try to be contemporary.
Yeah.
You're the exception. You have never done that. You've always done it on your own terms.
Yeah, who else could? Oh, well, that's the only reason. It's like we have so many opportunities, so we can make a remix of Dancing Queen. Send the multi-track and say, no bloody way. You write your own stuff, you know, because it's. I mean, we've done what we want to do. This is how we want it to sound. This is us. If we give it to someone else, it'll be somebody else's. So they might as well do their own music.
And this was one thing we decided early on with Voyage. But, okay, no trends, nothing, no looking at anything else, but just doing exactly what we want to do right now. And that's what we've done.
Also the fact that, I mean, I don't know what's going on now, so there's nothing to sort of look for.
But in the 70s, of course, we listened to everything happening around us. Yeah. Our contemporaries, and never stealing, but always
that was
getting
fun.
impulses.
Yeah.
Yes.
To see what they were all doing, you know.
And you listen to, like, I remember you said, like, what are the Bee Gees doing? What are Eagles doing?
Yeah. What's Rod Stewart's new kick drum sound?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's things like that. It's
It was fun.
out of interest, really. And also, of course, for inspiration. Yeah. If you hear something great, then you try to do something great yourself.
Now you're doing a live show. some acts in the 70s who were sort of labeled lightweight in a way were not considered, or no one believed they would be great live acts. They thought they were like studio projects. But you were also the exception there. You were great live.
Thank you.
Not many people expected that actually from
No.
like a
Were we?
very
Yeah,
studio pop group.
Yeah.
Because the ladies can sing. You know, that's the thing. And the band was great. So it becomes music, even live. I don't know if we were that great live because we were trying to reproduce our records. We didn't sort of, it wasn't all of a sudden a 10-minute long guitar solo.
No.
But no one wanted to hear a 10-minute long guitar.
No.
Or a drum solo.
Probably not. Oh, drum solos are great.
But Thomas Johansson, the legendary concert promoter in Sweden, Live Nation, he told me that when you asked him to organize the world tours, you said costs didn't matter. You just asked for the best persons who are doing the lighting for Queen, the sound for Rod Stewart, who works with the Stones. You just wanted the best, and you didn't care if you lost money on the tours. Is that true?
Well, I think it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it was him pestering us to go on tour. It was not us, you know. But once we did, we wanted to do the very best we could, and have the best people around us. That was a natural thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. We didn't make money on the tour.
No, never.
We didn't
never.
tour. Period. We did maybe 100 gigs in 10 years.
Yeah, and also smaller gigs than we could have done just to sell out, to be certain to sell out, you know, sometime.
And now you're doing your first live show in...
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Live.
Live.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little about how do you create a set list for the avatars? Was it difficult to choose what songs, who gets decide what songs? Can you talk a little bit about creating the set list?
Well, there's one thing you have to do. You have to play Dancing Queen, right? You probably have to play Knowing Me, Knowing You, or Take a Chance on Me, or Waterloo. There's songs you have to play. So the trick was to take which ones do we take away that we should really play, but we'll replace them with something that's not that well known. And there are not many, but there are maybe 4.
Less well known, yeah.
Yeah, but good
But
songs
not
that
more
we
than
want to
that.
be in there. Yeah.
But it wasn't easy to, you know, a matter of killing your darlings, I guess, in a way. But there was a long list. And
The good thing is we are the ones who decide. There was a lot of opinions. You have to play Money, Money, Money.
Yeah.
And I said, it's no fun to play. You know?
As an avatar. But how many
So
songs do we have now?
I think it's 24.
24, yeah.
I'm not sure. But I think it's a good choice.
So, yeah, four less
You see,
well known.
it will be so interesting to see what this becomes once it's up there. And when we do the first run-through of the whole show.
Yeah.
What is it? What does it look like? How do we react to us being there or not being there? Live band? It's hard to say. It's hard to say what it is. We're trying to come up with a good. I mean, it's not avatars. I think avatars is the best. It's so corny, so it's good. But
Yeah. But they, for me, having seen them more and more, they become their own entities in a way. They're us, but then again, they're and we only have a vague vision of what it will be, all because nobody has seen it, including us. I mean, when the musicians are there and when they start to play, and the sound system is going, and the avatars are up there, and the audience is in the arena, this fantastic new arena, then we'll know. But nobody knows before then.
which is kind of cute.
It's kind of it's like holding your nose and diving, isn't it?
Some of those songs are like 50 years old now.
Yeah.
But people still want to hear them. And since we're talking for Universal Publishing and the label, you get a lot of requests for syncs, songs appearing in movies and
Yes.
TV series. How do you choose what to say yes to and what to say no to?
Only the money. Yeah, we have a lot of opportunities, you know.
It's
And
difficult.
we basically if it's a good film, if it's a good series or whatever,
Yeah.
and the money is okay, we'll probably we often say yes, but we more often say no because there's so many tiny things coming in. I think the best sync ever with us is in The Martian when they play Waterloo and he's fixing his thing to get away. That's wonderful. I wonder whose idea that was.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a good idea.
But it's you know, sometimes we say yes to little obscure projects as well, because it sounds interesting.
And has a
I
good
think
cause.
It's generally
Yeah.
good to
Yeah.
be, to be heard and to be seen in those circumstances.
But do you have like how do you actually do that? Do you have like meetings, the four of you? Now we have this.
No, we have emails going out.
And it's enough. If one of us says no, it's no. Right? We all have to agree. That's the basis of
Yeah,
what we're doing.
and it's different. It comes from Universal Publishing if it's just a song they want, and from publishing and label if it's the master too, and then the two ladies are involved too, and they can have a say. Otherwise, it's Benny and me. But we have said yes to a lot of things,
Yeah.
and that was good too. Muriel's wedding, you know, things like that have been very good for us.
Yeah, Mamma Mia, the movie.
Yeah, not
That
bad.
was good, yeah.
It was good that we said yes to that.
But you were known to say no to almost everything. You done one commercial, I think, like in 1975 for a Japanese TV manufacturer, and then you have said no to everything appearing in commercials.
Yes.
Will that change?
No.
No, he won't.
No.
It was a horrific thing to hear that played back. You remember? We won't sing it here.
No.
It was, oh,
Terrible. It wasn't actually our fault. We were just sort of surfing along on something.
yeah.
We also have some questions from people listening coming in here. We have one from Jonas in Stockholm, whose question is, for a younger audience, you have joined TikTok and they are all rediscovering your music. Has this changed your view on social media in general and interacting on their platforms?
For me, no. For ABBA, perhaps.
Yes, and I think social media is, in general, you know, something to be talked about. But I think TikTok seems to be quite a fun thing, and it makes it possible for good songs, good old songs, to be rediscovered in a good way. Look at Fleetwood Mac and others, and us as well. I mean, people might not have discovered that were it not for TikTok. So I'm all for that. I think that's great fun.
We got another question from Adrian in London. You could say ABBA are best known for your hit singles, but what are your own favorite personal album tracks?
Oh, there are many. It's impossible to say, really.
Songs that for some reason or other weren't singles.
I can say one. I can say Our Last Summer.
Yeah.
Good track.
When I Kissed the Teacher,
Yeah.
good track.
Eagle.
Yeah, there are many that ended up as album tracks because we came out with new music. Otherwise, they could have been singles too. Move On, that's a good song.
What's on your playlist now and what are you inspired by today? What are you personally listening to right now?
I'm only listening to classical music. Really. Constantly. Well, not during the days. I listen to our band rehearsing, but when I listen to music, yeah.
And what classical music are you listening to then?
Oh, there's a lot of Johann Sebastian Bach, Mozart, the big guys, the good guys. You know, some Vivaldi. I don't listen so much to modern music. It's the old goats. They speak to me. And it's a never-ending source of incredibly good music. Never ends.
And what about you, Björn?
I'm working on a project with Pippi Longstocking at the moment, a circus musical. So Benny has written a couple of songs, and then some old songs that I've written lyrics to. So I'm listening to that mostly right now.
That was one of the questions, actually, so it's good you addressed that, because Pippi Longstocking is, I guess everyone knows, one of the few Swedes who are as well known as ABBA is. But you have been working for this project a long time. Is it like, the premiere will be in Stockholm?
It will be in Stockholm in the beginning of July.
Is it like a play, or is it like a musical?
No, it's a musical. It's a musical with circus elements.
I think we done most of the questions. There was one I guess fan question from someone. What you mentioned, TV shows that you say yes to some and no to some. What are your favorite TV shows?
Oh.
Mm.
You
Right.
mean like series or what?
Yeah,
or
I think
CNN News?
No, I think we will watch CNN News
right now. I'm watching Ozark.
Okay, good.
I think
good.
that's good.
Yeah.
It's
And they could have used Money, 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 I guess, as a theme song.
they might have asked us, and we might have said no, for all I know. Yeah.
Oh, there's so much going on on the streaming channels.
Yeah.
I have to say that it's been a while now, but I love Breaking Bad.
Mm.
But there's a lot of good things.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones. Yes.
I haven't seen that at all.
Oh, you got something good to look forward to.
You've been after being very quiet for 35 years, you have been extremely active right now and will be up until the premiere, I guess. in late
Well,
May.
it's sort of because they twist our arms. We haven't been very active. But yes, compared to the 40 years before that, yes, we decided to say, well, there's no point, you know. And for some funny reason, it's like ABBA is always up here for us. I mean, in the office, there always constantly questions, things to be done, dealt with.
Mm.
And I always had the feeling that people aren't they tired of us now? With Mamma Mia, Muriel's Wedding, you name it, so much stuff. But that's only because one is in the middle of it and realizes that people on the street, they are probably not fed up because they don't listen to it every day.
No, they're not confronted by it every day. Confronted by your younger self all the time. But I zap.
Yeah, when one asked you like 10 years ago, will ABBA ever reform? You said no, never.
Mm.
I guess you will get the question now, will Voyage really be the last album, or will you change your mind again and do another one?
No,
no,
not a new album.
That's not going to happen.
We're done for.
And no tour. That's
No. Yeah, well, we'll tour the little thing in London.
yes.
Perhaps eventually, not tour it, but move it, if it all goes well, which we won't know until we see it.
Thank you so much. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.